purpose of this video, I guess, is just to show you what the differences are and what I've done differently in the makeup of the new camper versus the old camper. We'll take a look at that. So starting on the driver's side, we have from the wall backwards, furthest away, we've put in an extra 75 litres of water. So instead of 75 litres, it's now 150 litres of water. They're divided into two completely independent tanks. One's pressurised and one isn't. So 75 litres pressurised, 75 litres gravity fed. If for whatever reason somebody opens the tap on the outside of my van, and that hasn't happened to me yet, touch wood, and I lose 75 litres, I've still got 75 litres available to get me out of trouble. So an extra 75 litres of water. Then all my electrics are down and accessible back here behind the driver's side wall, and that makes a real difference. Anytime anything goes wrong now, I've got complete access to all of my electrics, which is what I wanted. The water pump's also on that wall. Coming back from that, I've put in a Titan drawer from King's or the Super Centre. Out of all the stuff that they sell, their drawers, I rate their drawers. I think they're really good. They stand the test of time. You have a look at some of these YouTubers that have been around for years, they're still using the same drawers, and yeah, they really hold up. So I've put in a drawer there. That gives me real estate on top of the drawer. So it's got a flat surface on top of the drawer, and I try and leave that free for all of my camera equipment and things like that. Inside the drawer, just knickknacks at the moment. I haven't really got anything for inside the drawer other than my cooking equipment and bits and pieces. So that's different. Camera box toilet is still there. That was in the last one. The intricacies of the electrical system I'll leave for another video. It's too complex to go into this one. I just want to show you the differences. Let's move on to the back. So the back of the Tommy is completely different, and it's one of the main reasons I upgraded to the SX4 or S4X. The shape of it, instead of going flat at the back, it comes back on an angle and gives me head height to walk in and out of the door, which is excellent. Probably one of my mistakes when I bought the first one. I did have an opportunity to buy this one when I bought the first one, but I didn't, and certainly thankful that I've changed and upgraded to the S4X with that slope. The door is a bit of a trial door. It's not something that comes standard with all the doors. I think you can get it if you ask for it. It's a lift up door, and the reason they're trialing these lift up doors instead of the rollout ones, on the SX model with that back, when it rolls out, it just hangs there. It also encroaches on tyre space. So if you're driving a Land Cruiser with 35s and you want to put a 35 on the back, with the door that goes up like that one, you can fit the 35. With the door that actually swings out, you're going to struggle fitting the 35-inch tyre on the back. That was one of the reasons they brought it in. Jury's still out as to whether I like the door or not. I'm trialling this door. The fly screen still fits over the door, and the zip does up to the shocky, where you can see the shocky or the strut coming out to hold the door up. You see there, the screen door actually from the S4 fits on the SX4 apart from the shocky, and there's a gap, as you can see, just beside the shocky of about 2 centimeters, and it's about 20 centimeters long, of which we'll probably sort out something to make it a little bit shorter so there's less getting there. But it's probably 90% effective, but it has to go around that door, so I'm going to have to cut a little bit of the fly screen, and there's a little bit there to do, and modify it a little bit so that it really does go back to being 100% bug proof. I've got the pull out table. The pull out table is there because I've got, with this one, I've got spaces put underneath the, well, I put the spaces underneath the camper to lift it up probably about 40 mil, 50 mil. What that did was give me real estate underneath the camper to be able to do exactly that. That's the full length, or if it goes the full length of the tray, comes out an extra 1500 mil or 15 centimeters, and that gives me room just to tie it back so that it can't move. Really good idea. I like the idea of having a table that's really easy to pull in and out at the back. Something that's different on this one, wasn't on the last one. Around the passenger side, very similar on this side. Well, it's pretty much the same on this side. The only difference is the fridge. The fridge is a Ingle, a 90 litre Ingle. The previous fridge was a Dometic and it was a 110 litre Dometic. The Ingle versus the Dometic. I'm pretty sure the Dometic's a cheaper fridge than the Ingle. Again, first impressions, I think I prefer the Dometic. The reason a 2 litre milk fit in the fridge, that was important to me. 2 litre milk doesn't fit in the fridge door on the Ingle, so I have to buy smaller milks or carton milk. The actual hardware for the shelves in the door on the Ingle seem a lot more flimsy than the Dometic. The motor in the Ingle I know is a much better motor than the Dometic. That said, it's also a little bit noisier and I can hear the motor at night when it kicks in. Not that it kicks in very often, but if you're using the fridge on a regular basis prior to getting into bed, you'll hear that motor probably for the first 15-20 minutes while it cools that fridge back down. That said, I personally don't mind the noise of the motor, but my wife does. Jury's out. I like the idea of having a fridge that's going to go and be a lot more worthy on tougher tracks, and I think that will be because the motor's a better motor. On this side, I've also got a new awning. The awning is a 23.0. I haven't put it out yet. I'll do a bit of a video, first impressions and setting up the awning for the very first time at some point in the very near future. 23.0, it's a different awning than what I had previously. The previous one was a 30-second awning. The 30-second awning didn't have that front bat wing. This one's got two, so it's got the one that winds around 170 degrees around the back, and it's got the one that goes 180 degrees forward, so that you're covering the two doors on the passenger side, along with all the way around. At this stage, never put it out. Looking at it though, I'm a little bit worried that the lift up door is going to impede the awning or touch the awning. Don't know. Guess I'll cover that when I put it out. The differences inside is I've got a lift up seat as we walk our way around. I've got a lift up seat, so I've got access through into the underneath area of the seat. Not that I really need it because I've got a cupboard and a toilet in there, don't really need to access it, but it comes in handy, lift it up to push the toilet from the back to get the toilet out for putting it out into the foyer in permanently at night. The bed is shorter in this one, probably by a substantial amount, probably 150 mil, 15 centimeters, which is noticeable. Now we're short, and I'm happy with this one, and if I had to do it all again, I'd get this one. But if you're a bit taller than us, and most people are, you're probably going to need to talk to Tommy about the length of the bed before you just order it. I'm 170 centimeters, and I've got about probably 5 centimeters of play in the bed. So if you're any taller than 180, you're going to find yourself coming up a little bit longer than the bed that's in this model. So you need to talk to Tommy about the length of the bed, and they can do beds up to 205, I think. I wanted a shorter bed because it gives you a little bit more foyer space. I've also put in some cupboards, put in a shelf for my computer on this side up the back. One of the things that Tommy does with the SX models, on that angle, it gives you bench space at the back. So I've used that bench space to put a table in there, and I've used the space as you walk in the door. On the left, there's this void area. I used it for putting my boots and things like that, my thongs, just shoving it in there, but way better use of space is putting in some shelves. That's what I've done as I've walked in the door. The drawer, because the bed's a bit shorter and it's a slightly different construction, is a little bit smaller lengthwise, so same width, same depth, little bit shorter lengthwise, not noticeable. I noticed it because I notice these things, I guess, but I don't think my wife noticed it at all, and it's her drawer, so she fills that one up. The lights are slightly different positioned. I've got a light right up the back end and down in the front, so they're a lot wider apart. I'm not sure that's a good thing or a bad thing, or it just is. There's still just the plain white light in there. I really want a coloured light in there. bit of a pain not having a coloured light, because you get in, you've got to shut the door, because the moment you put the white lights on, the bugs come in. The last thing, I've got an outside light now at the back, which is really handy. I want to get a second outside light permanently. I use this one here as a coloured light, just to put a dull glow of orange over the door so we can see getting in and out without worrying about bugs. That's a really bright, almost spotlight at the back. Works really well. Great for working, great for when you're sort of busy entertaining out the back, I guess. Setting up fireplaces and things like that. But I really want a permanent dim glowing orange, glowing red type light, just for bug light and to illuminate the steps so we don't have any issues getting up and down. That's pretty much it. They're the differences between the new SX4 and the old S4. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link down below. Hit that Patreon link and shout me a coffee. See you on the next video. Take care.